because the heat is unbearable after a while.
Just feels nicer, sweat less, mainly sweat less.
Cooler weather has finally reached San Antonio. Tonight, we will tell you how long we can expect it to last.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
So yeah, ongoing power outages in a Schertz subdivision. People are upset, and now they're taking that problem directly to the power company. But here we're going to start at the top. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Stefania Jimenez.
And I'm Ernie Zuniga. She was saying families in one Schertz neighborhood say they have had enough. We're talking about the Rhine Valley subdivision near Lower Seguin Road and FM 1518.
People who are living there are telling us that they have power outages almost every week, and they say that weather isn't the only reason why. The night team's Avery Everett took their concerns straight to CPS Energy and the city of Schertz to figure out what's happening. Avery.
Well, after weeks and months of calling Schertz city leaders and CPS Energy's, neighbors told us they weren't getting any answers. That's when they turned to KSAT.
We're seeing farmland disappear, basically, to the homes, and it's progress. It's just the way it is.
What was once a quiet stretch of Schertz is now seeing major development, and neighbors are worried new demand will make their current problems even worse.
I mean, they're adding houses left and right.
Since the start of the year, people living here in the Rhine Valley subdivision say power outages have become a frequent problem.
It's just back to back to back.
They're almost weekly.
Because it's not getting fixed.
These minor inconveniences have now become major unexpected costs.
Everything that was hooked to the router was fried.
So this is a new system. How much did it cost you?
It was right at about 15 grand for everything.
Steve Stenger says because of a surge, he's lost pool equipment, lights, and a lot of his interior electronics.
I mean, somebody needs to be responsible for it.
And he's not alone.
Everything was bad in the refrigerator.
Walt Aldridge left town for one weekend with his family. The power went out for less than a minute, but he says his breakers were tripped, and that's why he lost more than $100 of frozen food.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. It'll be a sunny day like this and the power goes out.
So why does the power keep shutting off? A spokesperson for the city of Schertz says it does not own or operate the utilities, but that the city has reached out to CPS Energy multiple times and has not received a, quote, satisfactory response. A spokesperson for CPS Energy told us it has investigated the outages, but will send crews to inspect the area again. CPS Energy says the outages this year have been brief and mostly caused by weather, animals, and complex repairs. But after frequent outages and big bills, neighbors say that's just not enough.
The outside box, this box, $400.
Completely out of pocket.
Oh, yeah.
And that was to protect yourself.
That's to protect myself, yes, because that is a lot cheaper than replacing a TV.
Until change comes, families in Rhine Valley say they'll keep pushing for answers to have a little peace of mind.
One of the men we spoke to, Walt, gave us a copy of a frequent outage investigation he says CPS Energy performed on his account. I want to read one of those data points for you. He says as of July, the report stated his home experienced 27 outages on 12 different days within the last year. And before that, he says across the nearly 10 years he's lived in the neighborhood, he could count to the number 5 of the times that they had outages in that neighborhood. Reporting live, I'm Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
27 outages.
Yeah, goodness gracious. All right, well, you saw Avery out there with an extra layer on. I think we're all getting ready here. Temperatures right now are in the 50s.
Okay, but just wait, because in a few hours, some of those temperatures will go down to 40 in some places. And Shelby, it hasn't been this cool since, what, April?
It has been about 200 days since San Antonio and most of us across South Central Texas last saw temperatures this cold. I mean, today temperatures only got to the 60s for our peak temperature in San Antonio. Now, if you are dropping kiddos off to school tomorrow, they might want to bundle up. Temperatures tomorrow morning for San Antonio getting to 41 degrees. And yes, pickup is still going to be a little on the warmer side, 72 degrees. It's still going to be relatively cooler because take a look at this. All of that cooler Canadian air that was associated with that low pressure system and that cold front that came through yesterday is getting brought into Texas by those northerly winds. So all those temperatures in the 30s next to Omaha and 37, Denver still sitting at 48. All that cooler air is making its way closer to Texas, and that could have an impact for your Halloween forecast. We are expecting temperatures to still be in the 60s and the 70s. I'll give you a futurecast of what all you can expect with the cooler temperatures, plus even a small chance of rain for San Antonio coming up in just a bit.
Shelby, thank you. And you know, some locals aren't just thinking about grabbing a jacket for tomorrow. They're also thinking about how people over in Jamaica are doing right now.
Yeah, Hurricane Melissa made landfall in the island nation yesterday as a Category 5 storm, and a local Jamaican restaurant is leading a recovery effort to help the people there in Jamaica. Real Jamaican is located on San Pedro Avenue, and the owner, Jody Ann, says that she has not heard from her parents and her grandmother who live in Jamaica since Tuesday morning. That's the day the storm made landfall. Her nonprofit, the Jamaican Renaissance Initiative, will be sending all donations they receive directly overseas.
Any kind of supplies would help, preferably non-perishable items, because one, we don't know when the power will return. So it's easier, it's better for them if we can get items that will last.
We are willing and open to accept, because our people back home is going to need everybody on board.
So if you would like to donate, Jody Ann's restaurant, Real Jamaican, again, is on San Pedro Avenue, and that will be the drop-off center.
Yeah, we're talking about the November election. Just a few more days. You have 2 more days, as a matter of fact, to vote early for the November 4th election. In Bexar County, voters will determine whether the county can allocate funds to the Frost Bank Center and also a proposed new downtown arena for the San Antonio Spurs.
All right, so we have updated numbers. As of today, more than 102,000 people in Bexar County have cast their ballot. And just today, almost 14,000 people voted in person. The polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow. And again, the last day to early vote is on Halloween, Friday the 31st.
Right now, if you wanted to build a 200-foot tall building just outside of Randolph's military base, theoretically you could. But for the purposes and protection of military operations, that ability is going to go away this election.
Within 5 miles of Randolph.
This is Brian James, Deputy City Manager for the city of Schertz. He's the guy who knows a whole lot about Schertz Proposition A.
Just make sure that development on those properties doesn't do anything to negatively impact the mission of the base. So for instance, with the flight mission and the pilot training out there, or flight instructor training, we don't want tall things built.
Proposition A will specifically impact some land areas in the 5-mile radius around JBSA Randolph, that Air Force base. For reference, this is FM 78 and this is FM 1518. And now we're also going to show you a map on your screen. This is where this area is relative to the city of San Antonio. Now back to that Schertz map. Anything that's in orange that says Schertz ETJ or extraterritorial jurisdiction that is also within a 5-mile radius of JBSA Randolph, those are going to be the areas that are impacted by this vote. They're going to get 2 options on the ballot. Option 1, if passed, would bring in all of those areas in orange into the city of Schertz.
We would provide police, fire, EMS protection just like we do for other areas of the cities. But the drawback to that is they would pay property taxes just like other people in the city to help pay for those services.
But these people would also have to pay new property taxes and comply with city and zoning regulations. Option 2 would not annex these homes into the city of Schertz. However, it would impose new land use regulations.
Kind of height restrictions, dust, lighting, glare. There's some land use restrictions, right? So the areas that have higher noise levels due to the planes flying over, there could be some restrictions.
And how are these rules enforced?
Somebody wants to build something on their property, for example, if it exceeds, say, 50 feet in height, they would have to come into the city to obtain approval to build it, and that approval would be where we would check and make sure that it's not too tall to create a problem.
The only people who can vote on Proposition A are people who live in or own property in the area that's set to be affected. So this might not be on your ballot, but this isn't the first time something like this has actually happened. The city of San Antonio had a very similar election back in 2018. It dealt with the homes and land surrounding Camp Bullis and Camp Stanley military bases. Those voters decided not to annex into the city of San Antonio. Instead, they decided to impose those land use regulations. I'm Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Still ahead tonight, colleges are doing their part to help with the SNAP benefit pause during the government shutdown, and we're going to tell you how one of our local colleges is getting involved. When you think of people who get SNAP benefits, you don't usually think of college kids, but that's the reality for 1.1 million students across America.
Yeah, so as the government shutdown continues, college and universities are trying to help bridge the gap for students. The Night Team's Christian Riley spent the day at San Antonio College to learn how the school is supporting its students.
The Student Advocacy Center is at the heart of San Antonio College and has been a lifeline for many since it was introduced nearly a decade ago. But recent economic struggles and the government shutdown have driven more students through its doors.
Our students are already coming to us and saying, I'm out of my benefits and I don't know when I'm going to get them again.
The center opened in 2016 at the request of professors.
Our students were going to their faculty and staff and sharing stories of homelessness, of hunger, of mental health needs.
On average, 2,700 students visit the center every week, and that number continues to rise.
Just the cost of living, the cost of food prices has been increasing steadily for everyone, and so that's already been impacting our increase in utilization of our pantry.
Last school year, it recorded 83,000 visits, and this year's need has already been 13% greater.
We're already starting to talk about who can we reach out to get more funding.
The center partners with the San Antonio Food Bank for many items in the pantry, but sets itself apart by offering perishable items like milk, eggs, and bread through a partnership with HEB.
So if we can take care of our students' basic needs outside of the classroom, then they start taking care of themselves by finishing their education and getting amazing jobs in the community.
Christian Riley, KSAT 12 News.
Now, if you would like to donate items to students in need, you can contact the center there. The number is on your screen right there. Not only does it provide food, but it also helps students with clothing, hygiene products, and even dog food. The center said that its most needed items right now are baby wipes, tampons, and clothing that college students would wear.
A lot of companies, workplaces, and school districts are also stepping up to offer assistance to help bridge that financial gap during the government shutdown. But let's say that you rely on SNAP benefits or you're a federal worker that hasn't been paid because of the shutdown. Please know that there is help out there. Scan that QR code because that'll take you to a list of resources that are available, resources that you can also get to by visiting our website, ksat.com.
Okay, let's get you outside right now and give you a look at the conditions with live cam. Of course, it's dark, but now it's officially chilly. And I think, Shelby, people are dusting off their jackets and sweaters and blankets.
I mean, I kept the windows open all afternoon. I had to dust off that fall coat this afternoon because it's chilly. I mean, it's 52 degrees currently in San Antonio. It's that first true cold front we've been all waiting for. Traditionally, we get that cold front right around September 23rd. This year, we got it yesterday. The previous years, back in 2024, we got it in early September. So that cold front we've all been waiting for finally arrived for us, and it's still going to bring us some cooler temperatures. Take a look at tomorrow morning. As I take this little query here, I'm going to take a few temperatures between everyone. So in San Antonio, in the city limits, we are going to be a few degrees warmer because we have more cities, we have more of that urbanization compared to, let's say, Bernie or out towards Kerrville or even on the western side of Kerr County. Temperatures will continue to decrease the further you go outside of the city, plus the further to the north and to the west you are going to get. We are expecting a few areas out towards Rock Springs to get near freezing, not necessarily at or below freezing, but still near freezing. As you go towards Stockdale or even towards San Marcos, temperatures still sitting in the low 40s. So it's still going to be chilly, not only tomorrow, but throughout the next 7 days. Fall is finally here, and it's really coming in and lingering. I mean, normally it's when we see those cold fronts, we start to see those temperatures return back up just within a few days. But even as we get to the weekend, our morning temperatures are still staying in the 50s, and even next week still staying in the 40s. We're actually going to be below our average temperature as you're waking up throughout the next few days. Tomorrow, still going to be a few degrees cooler, but here's the fun statistic. Traditionally, when we see the first true cold front, you get to worrying about when we start to see the first freeze warnings. The San Antonio National Weather Service does not issue frost warnings or advisories, but still, that color in pink, that's where you start to see the temperatures having the first freeze. this week into next week. And we're right along with that. For San Antonio, it's that light blue color to even that darker blue. That normally comes mid to late November and even the beginning of December. But for us, 72 degrees tomorrow afternoon for most of us, still seeing those clear skies. Yes, there is a small chance of rain this weekend, but it's only going to be because we're seeing a low pressure system move through just to the north, giving us a possibility of a quick sprinkle or a quick shower. As we fall back in time as we go into Sunday, temperatures still waking up in the 40s. Peak temperatures, although, yes, we have a high pressure system coming over us next week, are only going to get to near 80 degrees by the middle portion of next week, guys.
All right, Shelby, thank you very much.
You know what's cooler than meeting your sports hero? Getting a pair of shoes from him.
That would be cool.
Yeah, imagine shooting hoops at a community basketball court here in San Antonio, and all of a sudden De'Aaron Fox shows up with a couple of carts of basketball shoes. How cool is that? And that is exactly what De'Aaron Fox did tonight, passing out his own basketball shoes, Gamers Fox 2s. We're going to hear from a couple of young men who got those shoes. And Coach Sark gave us an Arch Manning update today, an encouraging one as well, coming up.
We came to come see him and get some free shoes. Come see what's up with the park. Come check it out. You know we love the Spurs and the big 2-0.
It's crazy. I've been a diehard Spurs fan since birth, and it's crazy to see De'Aaron Fox out in the city like this.
It was a good day for Spurs fans Eric and Charlie, who got to meet De'Aaron Fox and get some free shoes and big board sports. Spurs point guard De'Aaron Fox made a surprise visit, pulling up to the Red McCombs community basketball court at Hemisphere to meet and greet fans and to hand out his brand of sneakers. The fans lined up and, of course, chanted "Go Spurs Go," waiting to get their kicks. Fox, who has yet to play this season while coming back from an off-season hamstring injury, was happy to hand out those basketball shoes.
Just came out to the court, obviously, you put here for the community, that the organization just continues to help the community, and that's what I love to do as well. So we came out here with the Gamers, the Fox 2s, and just did a little giveaway. So that was just the premise of it. Obviously, we didn't know how many people would be here, and we ran out of shoes, and obviously the normal sizes that you kind of see around, but I think it was cool just being able to kind of tap into the community.
Very cool indeed. Turning to the game itself, Wemby and the Spurs are getting ready to face the Miami Heat tomorrow night before the Spurs hit the road for 2 games. San Antonio is 4-0 this season, winning by an average of 16.5 points per contest, best in the NBA. The Heat and their new look up-tempo offense, they're just crushing it. They're averaging a league-best 131.5 points per game this season. They've already scored 146 points and 144 this season. That's the 3rd and 4th most points scored in a single game in their franchise history. On the flip side, the Silver and Black are giving up a league-low 104.5 points per game, so San Antonio will have to play some solid D tomorrow night to slow down the Heat.
They're playing the fastest. I think the fastest in the league right now. A lot of transition, a lot of one-on-one basketball, swing, pass, a lot of stuff like that. So it'll be a physical game. They got some big guys. They got some really good players. So, it'll definitely test our defense. Credit to the coaching staff, man. They've been giving us a lot of good stuff, a lot of film. We come here every day and we're watching film. We're practicing as if we're playing Miami that day. So I credit to them, man. They've been doing a really good job with that kind of stuff.
What is the key to kind of dealing with what they're doing now on offense?
We got to play defense.
Got to play defense. San Antonio will host 3-1 Miami tomorrow night at 7:30 at the Frostbank Center. After a bye week, UTSA football is back in action this week and all set for a primetime Thursday night matchup with Tulane. The Green Wave are 6-1 overall and 3-0 in the American. UTSA is 3-4 and 1-2 in the American Conference. Starting quarterback Cade McCown said the off week was good for his body. Now he'll get after a Tulane defense that is allowing just under 17 points per game this season in conference play.
Yeah, really good defense. Obviously, Tulane's been a really good program over the years. They have a really good D-line, and then linebackers, DBs are really good as well.
How big of a game is this in the players' eyes? How do you see it?
Yeah, every game's a big game, but obviously national TV in the Alamo Dome, there'll be tons of energy on both sides of the ball, so definitely a big game for sure.
Everybody knows, Tulane, great team. Their offense they got a lot of weapons. Their L-line is good. They physical. But, you know, we just, like I said, we just focus on ourselves. We go out there and play our game, play UTSA, random football, would be fun.
UTSA will host Tulane tomorrow night at 6:30 at the Alamo Dome, live on ESPN. We have an Arch Manning update for you after the break. Texas Longhorns quarterback Arch Manning practiced today, but he remains in concussion protocol ahead of their Saturday showdown versus Vanderbilt. That's per Horns head coach Steve Sarkisian, who provided that update today. Arch suffered a concussion Saturday in the Horns' 45-38 overtime win at Mississippi State. Manning left the game in overtime after his head hit the ground. Backup quarterback Matthew Caldwell took Manning's place and would eventually lead the Longhorns' victory, throwing the game-winning touchdown in the extra session. Now Manning must clear concussion protocol to be allowed to play Saturday at 11 a.m. and number 20 Texas hosts number 9 Vanderbilt at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium, live here on KSAT 12. And in the World Series tonight, Game 5, the Toronto Blue Jays won at the LA Dodgers 6-1, taking a 3-2 series lead. The series will now shift back to Toronto for Game 6 Friday night and Game 7 Saturday night if necessary.
Okay. Goodness gracious. All right, Larry, thank you very much. Appreciate that. We're going to step aside but get you caught up on a major accident right now on the west side of town. So stand by for that after a break.